Right now, though, after a brief turn across the Atlantic, Hurricane Ian made a second landfall in the Carolinas this afternoon. It hit near Georgetown, South Carolina, with maximum sustained winds of 85 miles an hour. Ian is battering the state with damaging winds, heavy rain, and a life-threatening storm surge. Experts say heavy rain and gusty conditions will impact millions of people over the Carolinas and mid-Atlantic states into tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Gulf Coast of Florida now struggling through the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. Rescues are continuing, and of course, millions are without power. In the midst of the destruction, there are stories of survival and heartbreak. Our Jason Allen reports from Northport.
Returning to Fort Myers after the storm, Wilma Jane Larry was greeted with this devastating sight, her family's new home in pieces.
This is what we found. We've only been here for 6 months. We just pulled off our money to buy it, and it's gone. Across the river, James Burdett lost everything.
I literally watched my house disappear with everything in it. Right before my eyes.
Once he collects what's left of his belongings, he plans to leave Florida and live somewhere outside the hurricane zone. Water is now starting to rise in neighborhoods well away from the coast. This is Northport, where we've been seeing people take boats out to the freeways to escape their neighborhoods. Jimmy Finks made it out, but said most of his neighbors were waiting for help.
I've never been through anything like this. I've pretty much lived in Florida my whole life, so this is the worst I've ever seen.
A few miles south on San Carlos Island, residents of this trailer park are sharing stories of survival.
I was banging on the ceiling so they could hear me, and then they came out on the steps, saw me trapped, and then they got a hammer and banged through that window.
Even with days of warning, they underestimated the power of the storm.
The wind was going everywhere, the rain was coming down, and it was flooding everywhere.
The hurricane slammed Florida's Gulf Coast as one of the strongest storms ever to hit the U.S., leaving behind a wasteland of splintered homes and shattered lives. Jason Allen, CBS News, Northport, Florida.